Hey there, I have a few questions for you. During the coronavirus crisis, how well are you coping with your partner and your kids when they are all at home 24/7 and you're trying to get some work done? Are you fighting and irritated about the silliest things? Are you enjoying this situation or tremendously stressed about it? No, it's not that easy. First, you may be dealing with a huge amount of fear that you need to regulate as much as you can. Fear has the potential to inspire and create new things. To stay stuck in the fear of the future is not helping you. Self-care can be helpful. Or, if you're like me, I enjoy this time of calm and peace. So I made a formula, an acrostic that may help you effectively maneuver through this challenging time, wherever you are and with whoever you be. You'll learn some insights about nonviolent communication as well. Cool, right? Nonviolent communication is a way of living and an authentic way of speaking and listening. A process that helps people connect and understand themselves and others in a deeper and compassionate way. The word or acrostic is connect. To connect and be connected is what most of us yearn for. It is part of belonging, which is a deep human need. Every letter of this acrostic covers a topic and has a tip or exercise. So have a pen and paper ready. You might want to write some things down during this talk. Okay, this is the acrostic. I hope you can see it right. So the C, the first letter of criticism and critical attitude. O is of observation and communication. N in no nagging. N of needs. E of express. C of compassion and connect to your core. The T of time and trust. I will start with the C of criticism. Criticism is a major killer in any relationship. The habit of expressing ourselves because we are triggered by unmet needs. It also means we are not connected to love. We interpret from a we are better place. Today, around this homebound situation, you might be more stressed than ever and feel more irritable than ever too. That's why it's also very easy to get more annoyed with your partner. Being in stress, whether it is about the financial future, your health, or if you have a hard time being at home all the time, it may not bring the best out of you or out of your partner. This becomes an optimal moment to reflect on yourself, especially if you recognize critical thoughts within yourself. Your inner talk, right? So don't forget, you have still so much greatness and good around you happening. And such things going on for you. Allowing a critical attitude or just critical thoughts are not going to help you feel better, ever. Self-criticism or criticizing your partner will never lead to more love, more kindness, or more harmony. It is actually a disconnect from everything. As Deepak Chopra formulated so nice and well, criticism never stems from love. Unfortunately, criticizing others and thus ourselves is the way we were raised. In society, there is a typical division in two: good and bad people, good and bad kids. It seems acceptable for most educators to look at other humans through those glasses of good and bad. I don't like it. We might take much more compassion into consideration when we feel the need to judge others. They are the product of so much as well. Their upbringing might have lacked so much that we cannot blame them for who they are today. Blame anyway is not a good thing to do. Now we know more about epigenetics, inherited family trauma. We even start to realize what a big impact our ancestors' experiences can have upon us. And who are we to think we can judge others to begin with? If you are not content in the situation with your partner today, you both may react more strongly to each other than usual. Just because there is more stress in the air with this invisible corona enemy. Or if your kids are getting on your nerves, you might want to try something like this. That's the first tip. You just replace critical thoughts with the opposite. So, she or he never cleans up after himself and leaves it all for me. Could be transformed into, let me give him or her the space he or she seemingly needs now. And I will ask in a very kind way or with a joke, no, not sarcastically, when she or he can find some time to fill in the blank, yada, yada, yada. To act from a place of respect is the core of happy relationships. Also, skip the word never as an exaggeration to support your frustration, because that's an invitation to defend oneself and to start an argument. Is it really never, always never? You probably can answer that with no. So here is an example. Do you need some time alone or to rest? And can I ask you later for some support from you? Bear in mind, you can never get people to do anything without their cooperation and other than with force. And you don't want to get your needs met with either force than something else, hopefully. So yes, the situation with Corona is an invitation to practice patience, different use of language, and also compassion. Compassion for yourself and for your partner. Second tip, a helpful sentence that creates compassion and relieves stress about your partner or another person is this. Just like me, this person is seeking to fill his or her needs. Just like me, this person is learning about life. It sounds maybe official, but it helps you shift fixation what is wrong in the other person. The O of observation. Observation, as is used in connecting nonviolent communication, is a super tool for clarity in how we communicate. Yes, that is the first step of the NVC model that I teach. We tend to obscure our observations by emotions and exaggerations to find understanding and support when we are unhappy, upset, or just angry. A clear observation is always neutral. There is no way you can disagree with it, none of you. It is done without criticism, without judging, accusing, analysis, and comparison. All of those concepts are considered violent in language. Have you noticed that while you were expressing yourself when you were angry or frustrated, or even when you were very carefully speaking your mind, and then the other person blew up, accusing you of attacking him or her, right? Or blaming you of making assumptions? Here is an example. Whenever I ask you to pick up something, you say yes, but never do it. You always forget and seem not to care about what is important to me. You hear the victim? A clear observation about the same problem would sound like is almost certain that the other person would agree with it. I heard you say before you left that you would buy bread on your way home. That's the whole sentence. You feel the difference? This is a clear observation, a clear fact. So if you like to keep the peace at home, be as objective as you can in your way of speaking. You want to connect, not dismiss the other person or disconnect altogether. Awareness about this is step 1. Learning the NVC process is step 2. And practicing is endless. The 4 steps all together are observation, feelings, needs, and request. So how does that work? You observe something that gives you certain feelings, and those feelings are connected with your met or unmet needs. Then you come with a respectful request, That is the fourth step of the model in order to try to get your needs met. The same process is valid for the other person. You have observed something, inquire about their feelings, needs, and then ask if they need something from you. That could be simply listening. NVC way of inquiring is, what is alive in you or in me? The N of no nagging, no demands, no cold shoulder. By nagging or demanding, you never get what you really like to get. You want your partner to feel free and wholeheartedly choose to help you or do whatever it is that you request. You don't want a situation where someone is doing what you want them to do, only to avoid a fight. Again, you want them to want to help you. It needs to come from the heart. Turning a cold shoulder is a way of blocking yourself from expressing your frustration. It could also be a way to punish the partner as a power weapon for the hurt that they think you caused them. A cold shoulder is also shown by people who have not learned to express themselves when they are upset. If you recognize yourself in this or your partner, that's a reason for you to have compassion for him or her instead of blaming. It is often plain fear of conflict, and fear of conflict leads often to entanglements of two brain circuits, fear and anger. If you recognize this in yourself, you might have experienced as a little kid an angry or violent parent or another important adult who directed their anger at you or at someone you love. That's very frightening. And of course you felt a lot of fear when you are in such a situation. Maybe things were thrown around. And as a result, fear and anger circuits in the brain become entangled. And they will fire off together when a conflict arises during your life. Today, you might even recognize a freezing situation, a totally blocking of expressing yourself. When you nag or demand, it shows you haven't learned how to respectfully express your needs yourself. Maybe you don't even know what needs are hidden behind your frustration. It could be the unmet needs for respect, for intimacy, for appreciation, acceptance, validation, love. These needs are often right underneath the fights we have. Pause the video a moment, think of an incident, write down the needs that you realize that were not met and have caused your anger, frustration, or sadness. We are all different in what we need, but those needs I just mentioned are universal and valid for everybody. And there are more like those. And if those needs were violated starting in our childhood, we become easily triggered. If that happens to you or your partner, yes, that needs some work. It is great to learn how to get your needs met in a peaceful way, because you'll never find anybody who would serve your needs 24/7 voluntarily. And yes, it is you who needs to take care of your needs by requesting kindly. And if you are lucky, they will be met. And if not, that's food for thought about your relationship. The N of needs. Needs are the pillars behind connection. We live because of connection. As babies, we would die if we were not held, loved, and touched. A simple rule is that all humans are happy when their needs are met. Great, right? But what to do then when your needs are not met? Well, in this corona situation, it is certain that all our needs will not be met. It is also a very interesting challenge to feel good, to be happy, regardless, when not all needs are met. That's the art of living. Most of the time we think about needs like food, water, shelter. Those are pretty well known. But the human needs like freedom, respect, love, belonging, warmth, care, compassion, connection. They are part of the basis of our emotional well-being. What then when your partner's needs don't go synchronous with yours? For instance, what if your partner wants to sleep and you want to talk? Remember, it is you who takes care of your needs, and you can only request to get what you want. So, here's an example of how you can go towards resolving the frustration if you want to talk and your partner wants to sleep. Ask your partner when would it be a good time to discuss what you want, or if your partner needs to sleep right away and request that you honor that need of his or her, you could say, of course, but first thing in the morning, I would like you to listen to me. You might feel lonely when she or he sleeps and you had the most important thoughts that you would like to share. There are briefly two things you can do. Ask yourself, when you have such a disappointment going on, what do I feel? Alone? Sad? What needs are not met? And you could also ask your partner, if she or he is not yet snoring, what he feels and needs. Checking in with him or her can give you another feeling. If she or he is just tired, that tired, then you will need to find a way to take care of your own needs for this moment. And of course, compassion for the other is important. Then you give compassion for yourself and go to do something else. If in your relationship you often run into the same unmet needs, then there is a pattern. Of course, that is an indication to look at. If you typically often and easily feel alone, or you might have a childhood trauma that needs to get attention and hopefully healed, never put the burden of unhealed childhood stuff on your relationship. What was missing for you cannot be replaced by your partner. And especially now, with Corona, that unhealed stuff can surface easier. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with your partner. If you want a healing exercise for the wounded inner child, private message me, please. If you haven't done so yet, write down the needs you feel that frequently are not met. The E of express yourself honestly and listen empathically. Expect the best. Elevate yourself with calm and collected behavior. When you're expecting the best of every situation, that is throwing a lot of positive energy into the flow of things. Of course, you cannot impact the course of the virus, but you can help yourself and your partner by stepping back out of drama, by stopping to watch the news the entire day. And that's never a good idea. Use these days in the quarantine, or rather health retreat, wisely. Do something special. Maybe you invest more in your relationship by playing games. Be creative in inventing for fun things, or do something that enriches your life. You could learn about NVC, connecting nonviolent communication, right? That's a good idea too. And when this virus episode is behind us, you want to look back at this time. Wow, it was actually a precious time as well. I got to know other parts of my partner. I learned more about myself. I managed to keep us out of the loop of negative behavior. That's great. I find that empowering to realize there really always is a choice, even though it doesn't seem there is one. So many people showed online and on social media funny games they developed while playing indoors with their kids. So much inspiration. Maybe they had never done that before, but you can also put a swirl in your intimate relationship. Be creative, be inventive, be positive. That's always great. This tip is practical. Time for a massage, a bath in candlelight with some wine, playing a board game, Why not playing and bring playful elements into your relationship? That's always great. The C of compassion. Connect to your core. What are your most dominant feelings? Fear, worry, depressed, bored or lonely, angry, or relaxed, content? What do you feel? What does your partner feel? Are you worried and maybe less kind than you usually are? Is your partner stressed and doesn't share that with you? Not to burden you with their worries? Checking in with yourself, how you feel, is helpful, always. And then you can give yourself compassion. You can learn how to do that. If you have had an argument that you would like to use for the following exercise, then accept yourself with what you feel. It could be anything. Acknowledge your feelings, identify them, and write them down. Pause the video. Now, we have done that while we do a breathing exercise. You breathe through the feelings, the ones you just wrote down. If those feelings you wrote down are negative, then you want to exhale those. You want to get rid of them. You want to set forward the intention to release what doesn't serve you. If they are positive, you want to feel and enjoy them and keep them. It's different. It's for you to decide. You take a slow deep breath, keep your shoulders low, and only exhale your belly, and will expand your belly. 6 count in, hold on 6 counts, and release 6 count. It's like this. So take a slow deep breath now. 4, 5, 6. Hold on. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then slowly exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you repeat that several times at your own pace, at your own time. Do that a few times. You can pause the video if you like. Another tip is this deep breathing is great to do anytime when you start to feel stressed or upset. It right away will calm you. Now you're going to give yourself a bath with compassion. How do you do that? You visualize yourself in your mind's eye and you give yourself a warm hug. A hug you would give to a loved one. And feel the warmth and protection that comes from you. I'm sure you're given that kind of hugs often to others, but now you are going to give it to yourself. It sounds maybe funny, but it works. It is so important to focus on compassion. We often judge people harshly, but when we know more about them, we can come to an understanding of why they are the way they are. That creates compassion. And if you know about strong and how strong inherited trauma can impact us, definitely child abuse, then we barely could blame anybody for anything, almost. So yes, the world needs more compassion. And it begins with us. In the brain, because of insufficient nurturing, did not develop sufficiently. You cannot expect that all human qualities are present. Most people mean well, and many are not able to get to a better place simply because they don't know how, don't have the tools, excuse me, and don't believe they can. There is a joke that many people go into therapy to learn to deal with people who need therapy and don't go. Compassion never means condoning anything. Most essential to healing and freedom are compassion and self-compassion, the caring for ourselves and all beings. Yes, compassion arises not naturally, but mature and full compassion requires practice and training. I love the approach of changing the vision on PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, into PTG, post-traumatic growth. These are words of hope. Yes, we can learn and grow from everything, but lacking elementary factors in childhood can make that difficult. Compassion for self and others is such a powerful and peaceful answer. It is healing. If you look at yourself or your partner through the lens of compassion, with practice, you will easily connect to your fountain of love. Beautiful, isn't it? True compassion is even stronger than love. It is wise and deep. As the Dalai Lama said, compassion is not complete without self-compassion. So here is another exercise to do. Compassion is a vibrational sound. It has a sound, and that is the sound of ah. The sound of self-compassion. Cross your hands on your heart, and say ah. Do it as loud as you like. In the brain, the language and the relationship parts are in different areas. If you don't know what words create connection, we might alienate our loved ones every time we are speaking and not knowing what we are doing. Naming of emotions connects us. Some people know just 3 emotions: happy, sad, and angry. Naming emotions and developing more distinction of emotions affects the brain. We are social beings, and if we do not share, we might become frozen, disconnected from ourselves, or feeling shame and hopeless. Yes, if we share feelings with someone who is not warm and resonant with us and says that we are wrong, we shouldn't feel that way, or you're too sensitive, or changes the subject, or tries to fix us, then it really doesn't help to name the feelings. They won't hear it, they don't understand. The gift of emotions are in the following areas: the sense of aliveness, makes us feeling alive. What's important to us, your feelings tell you that too. Capable of change, you do that guiding by your feelings too. What do we long for? Very emotional. Improves health and PTSD or PTG, right? Decisions, if it doesn't feel good, don't make a decision. Experience connection and sexuality, yeah, for sure. An important role in memory. Feelings can bring back memories. Allow us to enter our non-conscious world and we can begin to heal. Feelings are indicators. Relationships that are emotionally alive feed the body and the soul. Even if you've never heard from your parents, I love you, or were barely touched, you are born with the brain parts that are used for bonding and connection. Even though you might have never had the opportunity to feel warmth for yourself, your brain is ready to learn it. This is very interesting information from neuroscience. All mammals, including humans, too, have 7 basic emotional networks, circuits of emotion, which are different life energies, forces. Here are the 7 circuits: rage, fear, seeking, lust, panic and grief, play, and care. We thank this valuable information, there's much more of course, to neuroscientist Jaak Panksepp. Our brain connections to the care circuit, one of the 7 that I just mentioned, are the results from every positive relationship we have had. You see, we can emotionally heal in many ways. Just take action to improve your relationship with your partner or yourself is a compassionate act. The T of time and trust. Focus on time. There is time. There is always time. Focus on being in the now. Do not time travel on negative experiences. Don't bring back to the surface of your relationship other issues that happened in the past. They are not relevant today, as much as you might believe they are. That's the trouble with it. Neuroscience shows that the amygdala, part of your limbic brain, connected to the feelings there, remembers all hurts and trauma that has happened to you. Here's the problem. The amygdala has no time feeling and awareness and keeps all traumatic events in the present. So in the present time, so when something happens that triggered the amygdala, you're right there in the past and feeling as it is if it is in the present. The good thing of keeping traumas in the present is that you have an opportunity to heal. The brain wants you to heal. There are several modalities that can help with that. Constellation work, transformational work, the emotion code, breath work, meditation. So when you feel upset with your partner, check in with yourself. Is your upset triggering past events? If yes, then that is the moment for you for a timeout. For yourself, before you continue to talk to each other. You never will want to burden your partner with blaming him or her for your past hurts and trauma. A nice habit is to check in with your partner. How are you feeling? How are you today? Would you like me to do something for you? Would you like to get something? May I ask from you something for me? Of course. Time? No time. Lots of time. The time is yours. Never say, I don't have time. You have it. You own it. Be present and focus on the now. Be mindful of where you are and how you feel. A tip for you. Of course, you might have heard it many times. Just meditate 10 minutes a day about nothing. Empty your mind. It is so healthy for your body, for your soul, physically and emotionally. Just follow your breath. Look at the shape of the breath and just focus on that. Become aware of all your senses. Take a few very slow breaths in during 6 seconds. Hold on 6 seconds and exhale 6 seconds. You know it by now. Do it together with your partner. Do some yoga or Pilates. There are free and paid classes online today. It's all available. Trust. A very simple remedy to get out of a state of fear thinking. Fear is the opposite of trust. Is to control your self-talk, a remedy to get out of it. Fake sentences like, you cannot trust anybody in today's world. Or, I told you, never trust anyone. Please delete those immediately. One or more disappointing experiences cannot predict more of the same by themselves. However, with negative thinking, they can easily become self-fulfilling prophecies. Simply said, if you focus on trust with your whole being, you can create so much positive energy that a shift is inevitable. For good things to occur in your life, you need to feel as good as possible. Trust is one of these pillars to thrive on. Do you want to meet people you can trust? Ask for it. Radiate trust. What you send out, you will get back most of the time. Your clear, positive intentions will manifest another reality. Try it for a while and see what happens. The result of trusting in all is well thoughts gives you the opportunity to escape from where you are, stuck at this fear at this moment, even though it seems to be the opposite of what you are experiencing right now. It's all in the mind. So please take care of your own happiness. Thank you so much for watching and listening, and I would like you to know more. If you would like to know more, please sign up through my website, carlavanwalsum.com. And I thank you so very much for watching. Namaste and all the best.